the first resort, the simplest thing to do is to use coercion. This is the way I am, deal with it. Or some other versions, such as yelling, screaming, using arguments as weapons at each other. Now, since we are talking about the relationship driving license, let's begin by examining how coercion, manipulation, and convincing plays a part inside a romantic erotic relationship. When we fight, when we have an argument, we may decide to fight in different ways. We may say, this is the way I am, deal with it, which is coercion. Because what we're really banking on is the fact that you are, in a sense, forced to be inside this relationship because, for practical reasons, it's actually difficult to make the decision to get out from it because of social pressure, because of the time and energy you already invested, because you already have kids, and so on and so forth. So an argument that says, this is the way I am, deal with it, simply says, I force you to deal with this item that you're not happy with because it's still not bad enough that you would want to leave the relationship. It's something that can be found in dictatorships as well. I force you to live in North Korea because you perhaps don't know any better, because I forbid you to leave, because it would be too difficult for you to leave. So it's better to stay, even though you may not want to. Now, back to the argument. You may also say that it is your fault because blah blah blah. You give logical or pseudo-logical reasons, but of course in your mind you're actually driven by ego. You know that that is not completely true, that your partner's fault it is not entirely the case, but you want to win the argument, to gain power and influence over your partner. That is manipulation. If you attempt to convince your partner with logical arguments or emotional arguments, but in your mind you know that in reality that is not the case, and that is an attempt at manipulation. If it succeeds, it is manipulation. Now, finally, convincing is attempting to be honest inside an argument, saying what you really feel and what you really think about your partner, hopefully in a respectful and loving way, and acting having in mind and in your heart both your interest and your partner's best interest. That is convincing. And to the extent that you're successful, you navigate solidly an argument. Now, which one of these tactics is better? Well, there are many reasons why convincing is better, but also why it is the most difficult. When we're in an argument, we're in tremendous stress, if you will, and the first impulse is to defend and put a stop to it and to hit back, perhaps. So the first resort, the simplest thing to do is to use coercion. This is the way I am, deal with it. Or some other versions, such as yelling, screaming, using arguments as weapons at each other. Because it's the first impulse to defend. It takes more effort to try to manipulate, because now you have to convince someone even though it's not in their best interest. And even more effort to find the strength to be loving and considerate and strive for what is in both people's best interest to attempt to convince. Convincing is the most difficult, but if you do succeed it is by far the most solid, because depending on your skill as a manipulator, people sooner or later wise up to the fact that it is not actually in their best interest. And that can have very negative consequences for you. With regards to coercion, of course, there's inherent limits to how much you can coerce a human to do, and even more, those limits are even more significant inside a relationship, how much you are able to coerce your partner to do. You're not able to coerce love. Love is always a gift to be given. whatever it is that you achieve via coercion, that's not true intimacy or true love. Neither is manipulation. And that's another reason why you would use convincing inside a relationship, because it is pretty much the only gateway that I found towards true intimacy and true love. Many other reasons as well. Now you'll notice that coercion and manipulation are the realm of an abuser, actually. I'm not saying that people who tend to use these tactics are all abusive, but I am saying that all abusers use primarily manipulation and coercion in their many forms, to the overt, to the very subtle, in their relationships, while healthy relationships are based on convincing, are based on actual respectful, best interest of the both parties negotiation. A lot more to be said about that, but there you have it. It's difficult, but it's worth it.